So I just wanted to speak real quick on the Memphis teacher that was, recently abducted, and she was recently just found. Uh, Rest in peace to her. So terrible situation, man. Wouldn't wish it. Wouldn't wish that on nobody. Um, Definitely gotta stay aware of our surroundings. Understand that there's just so many crazy people, man, out there on the prowl, and they're looking for the opportunity to take advantage of people, which is why I always advocate. And this is not me, using it for a chance to promote some propaganda or agenda. This is just the reality. You have to take the precautions and have to be able to arm yourselves to be able to defend yourselves, and you have to be comfortable. Which with those with a gun or anything like that. You have to feel comfortable with it. Get yourself trained. You know how to operate it the right way to handle it and everything like that. Everything will be fine. Don't believe feed into the fear mongering that's being pushed in the mainstream media and all of that stuff. That's just bullshit. It's stuff to keep you fearful and basically, hinder your action. But one thing that I've been seeing, and it's been being posted by a lot of people, is how the fact that the suspect being a black man, and how it's not being spread throughout. I guess we know the liberal media pretty much dominates the most part of mainstream media. Now, like I said, there's a reason for all of that. You can see my past videos where I explain their reasoning and how they brainwash the public, manipulate the public into taking certain sides or positions on certain things. So I won't get into that here, but yes, it's a whole manipulation tactic, but nonetheless they do that. And yeah, a lot of these things, it doesn't get shared, it doesn't get spread. The talk around it they don't have it in the same capacity as it would were it a white man did it to a black woman. Now they do this for a reason. What I always advise, white folks and people out here that are taking note of this is, don't feed into the mainstream media game. We know that they do this for a reason. They're in this and I don't have a problem with y'all pointing that out. A lot of people can't see that. A lot of people can't see that. They're still buying into the propaganda. They're still buying into the narrative. A lot of people can't see these certain things, but don't feed into it. We got to find ways to make a solution to these problems. There's a reason why these things happen. Yet there's a lot of murders that take place. There's a lot of black folks that kill white people, and it gets swept under the rug. The second a white person does anything to a black person, we want to throw race or hate crime in it and different things like that without even getting down to what's the source of the issue. Where did it originate? It could have been some just an everyday issue that somebody has, and we've seen stories to where they've manipulated and made it a race issue. There are plenty of them, namely the one where the white woman pulled out a gun on the black woman in the parking lot. Even though the true story told a different story of who actually initiated it. But I'm just saying, we don't want to feed into this stuff. Like I said, the media, the government, they're all in this to stir up division. You saw Joe Biden's speech the other night and all of that, and all, basically, and I don't get down with Democrats or Republicans, but it was a very divisive speech. And Republicans do the same thing on their side. It's just, the people like to think the Democrats are the good guys and they take the moral high ground, but they don't. They don't. They're just as divisive, if not more, a lot of times more divisive than the Republican side. And so, and that speech was that. but that's their game. Because that's how they keep control of people in the public. They keep control. And so things like this, it tends to cause resentment. It tends to cause resentment when, a certain side or a certain targeted, specified group feels like they're being marginalized or they're being ignored. They're being, what can I say? Their voices are being shut out. They're being demonized. They do it with all type of groups. They've done it with black people for years, and they're doing it with with white folks today. And it's just what it is what it is. And they've used history has played a part from the story that's been told, and it's been told in a way to where it's been able to manipulate the public. And so a lot of people just don't have a lot of sympathy for white folks or stuff like that. But like I said, it's been used to stir up division in that manner. And so a lot of white people start to feel a lot of resentment. And I'm just here to tell you, don't buy into that hate. Don't buy into that division. It's put there for a reason. They want you to do this. They want you to resent, black people because they seem to be getting off the hook and they can do anything and we can't say anything or do anything and they get away with it and they're always playing the victim. Yeah, they're going to keep doing this stuff on television so they can get you all riled up and they can start, whether it's race, political war or whatnot, or just always nipping at each other's heels and not willing to really get to the root of the issues where a lot of these issues come from. And be able to work together. We have to be able to speak with each other, be able to talk, have real conversations, not be antagonistic. And this coming from all different sides. Whatever group you can think of, everybody's antagonistic of each other. Everybody's, if not being, divisive, they're just being indifferent toward each other. And we're not really working with each other. A lot of stuff you see, man, like, hey, a lot of stuff we got going on in the hood, man. It's everybody's suffering. It's not just, some white lady come running through the wrong part and get picked up. And I don't even know. I think she was in South Memphis. I don't even know if that's a hood or whatnot. But we've had a mindset, man. A lot of our folks have been damaged. You can't do what's been done to black people here in America through the years, no matter what you like to think. Even if you want to say all of it's a hoax or whatnot, there's a thing that comes with programming. So even programming can do damage. Even programming in the narrative can do damage and cause, hate and just no. But there's just so many different things, man. From legislation to different things where they've just went out their way to really damage the black community. And one of the things that gets overlooked is the mental aspect. The mental aspect. And it's not so hocus pocus as people like to think. The things like the mind control, the MK Ultra stuff, that stuff is real. That stuff is real. Use it through, drugs. Use it through, the programming, the things we see on television. Let's not rule out the environmental issues and things the way that those cause psychological issues. We can't rule none of those out. We cannot rule none of those out. And so we have to be able to and be willing. Like I said, still it's not an excuse, and the people who commit these crimes have to be dealt with. But we can't rule those things out. We have to get down to the root of this because it wasn't always like this. Black people weren't just going around doing this all the time. And it's not part of the nature, despite the narrative that they've tried to paint, for years. And, even back in the day is, black people being savages. It was never like that. It was never like that. It's like I said, it's just sprung up throughout the years. It's a tormented group of people, You know what I'm saying? Whether it's been through, economically or just mentally, even through what we've been fed, and the resentment, and the lack of opportunity, or lack of education through opportunity, and the certain stuff that just been programmed through music, television, entertainment, and they do this stuff all day. They don't, like I said, capitalism, it is what it is. I'm all for capitalism. It's these corporations that are going out of the way, that are working in conjunction with the governments, that are staying, they're not taking part in the free market. They're getting, they like to talk about black folks getting welfare. Well, nah, these corporations are getting welfare. They're taking advantage of the state. They're getting the subsidies, getting bailed out when they fall down. It's a whole lot that goes into this stuff. So we got to be a part of the solution. We got to get down to what causes these. There's so many, it's not just white people. And this is not to single out and make it look like black people are the problem. Like I said, you can't go through what you've gone through and think you're just going to come out unscathed. We have a very unique history here in this country. Yeah, everybody's been slaves and stuff like this, but this is a very, very unique thing that's happened with black people here in America. That's just something that has to be understood. And a lot of people, man, like I said, we have so many people that are just antagonistic and they don't want to listen to each other. If you have something in alternative facts or anything like that, or something that could lead to the truth, then speak it. And there's ways to do that, and speak your truth and stand on your truth and be respectful about it. And people who are receiving the truth or receiving certain facts, they can't be getting all defensive, getting emotional, because they're facts. All you got to do is have a rebuttal ready that's rooted in something, and something that you can source. We're here to educate each other. We have to get down to the root of this stuff, but we have to be able to work together, and we can't hold resentment toward each other and being fed because of the shit that's going on in the media. And the media is doing this stuff. They're playing the circus, man, every day. All of this stuff, just everything that's been going on, man. And stuff does affect us. Like I said, we have to be able to understand, hear each other out, because there's solutions. We got to be able to get to the root of this stuff. But all the shit you see, all the Trump arrest and all of this stuff, which he's never going to do a day of jail on, will not do 1 day of jail time on. It was all I can't believe y'all don't see this crap. He's been out of office for 2 years and they're still talking about the guy. And here he's come again because here he comes again because they're always got to have a character. They always got to have that polarizing character that, has everybody engaged, whether, they like him or love him or whatnot. And then you have his cult of people that follow him. And then you have the people on the other side that just try to make him like he's just the worst thing ever. Meanwhile, they try to act like I said, they take the moral high ground, even though they're just as garbage, if not worse. Proven they're just absolute garbage. But all this stuff and this raid and stuff, this political theater, it's psyop stuff. And it's made to cause resentment for one side or the other. Do not fall for that trick. And the same thing for race and all of this stuff. And why aren't black people? I mean, like I said, call it out. But all of the resentment, you have to get down. You have to understand what you're dealing with. You know what you're dealing with. Do not lose sight of that and create and start going after the wrong people. You know who your enemy is. Those folks over over on Capitol Hill. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Let's come together. Let's come together and let's come with solutions and get down to the bottom of this stuff. I'll holler at y'all later.